What have I done?
Hey guys, it's the Pinking here. Now, if you're unaware of what's currently going on, a few days ago I uploaded this video. They are trying to replace Godzilla, in which I shared my thoughts on the announcement of the new game, Kong Survivor Instinct, and mainly how I felt Legendary were overshadowing Godzilla and other kaiju in favour of Kong, and how that could ultimately ruin the Monsterverse. Now, there were a lot of comments on that video, with a lot of you guys agreeing with what I had to say, and a lot of you guys disagreeing with me, and then there were a lot of you who didn't even watch the video and just misinterpreted everything I said. Oh yes, we got some juicy drama here, juicy! But in actuality, there's a reason why I felt like I needed to make this video, mainly because a lot of what I had to say was completely misinterpreted and straight up lied about, and seeing how more and more people are starting to categorize me as some toxic fanboy, I felt I should address this here, right now. First, let me just say, I find this all hilarious, man. This is hilarious to me. It's true what they say, don't anger the Godzilla fandom or else you'll get a stiff beating. Like, to me, I saw this and it was just, to me, it was like this.
Bro, why are you so angry?
But I imagine to a lot of you guys, it probably looks like this.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Also, I saw Rick the Squirrel saw my video. They even put this meme, and I gotta be honest, man, this is funny. I gotta give credit where it's due, it's funny. But Rick, I gotta say, I think you didn't even watch the video, and I think you just misinterpreted the thumbnail. Shame on you! So, what did I mean? Well, let's address it now. First off, and probably the biggest thing here, is that, no, I'm not some salty Godzilla fanboy mad at the fact Kong is getting attention. I'm just the fanboy part. But yeah, I saw a lot of people say this, so let me just say this again. I'm not mad at Kong at all. I've been a long-time fan of Kong, longer than I've been a fan of Godzilla even. Peter Jackson's King Kong is not only my favourite kaiju movie, but one of my favourite movies ever, really. This is where I felt a lot of people just saw the thumbnail and assumed I was like this. But since I didn't explain it clearly enough, allow me to do it again. Kong is being overused, and that's bad for the Monsterverse because it's a short-term success method, and a lot of you said, well, it's clearly working, so why stop? But the issue is with that, is that it's working for now. Of course it's successful now because it hasn't been overdone yet. But if they keep going down this route and having Kong be the leading role kaiju in every Monsterverse project, it will be disastrous. You want proof? Look at every era of Godzilla. Each movie, regardless of quality, came out at such a fast rate with little fundamental changes that eventually they started to die down in hype and box office because the character was becoming so overused that the well of good stories began to dry up, and thus we were just getting more and more of the same thing, which led to the death of each Godzilla era. And it could very well be the same here if they were to keep using Kong as much as they have been recently. And no, before you comment,
stop hating because your process lizard isn't taking the same amount of time.
That would be an issue also. Let's say the roles were reversed, and Godzilla was the one being overused and not Kong. Then you still have the same problem of a kaiju being overused. I even suggested this in my previous video that Legendary don't have to only use Kong or Godzilla. In fact, here's the clip of what I did say in that video. And the same applies here. I like Kong, but I think he needs a break so we can develop other kaijus more. Hell, they don't even have to be Godzilla. Bring back some of the older kaijus like Megalon or Gigan. They'd work really well in the Monsterverse. Or hell, maybe make some of your own. You've already proven you can make your own with Shimo and Scar King. They were really fun, and maybe you should try that some more. Try to have fun with what you've got instead of ruining the best thing you have. And I still believe that. If the Monsterverse wants to be able to be successful long term, then it needs to experiment. Use Godzilla and Kong an equal amount, so neither overshadow the other, and it allows you to take bigger risks in terms of movies using other kaiju. Since they're not established yet, you can afford to get strange or serious. The sky's the limit when you try and experiment with newer kaiju. That's how you create a sustainable universe and not a short-term blip. Also, I saw a lot of you mention how Toho's rights were an issue here, and that's why they weren't using Godzilla enough. I agree with that sentiment. I think Toho is a pain with it. But then again, that doesn't stop the fact they're overusing Kong. As I said, they don't have to always use Godzilla either. They can use other kaiju. And if they can't get Godzilla, then what was the point of the Monsterverse? Like, that's the fundamental point. We're supposed to have a monster universe with these famous kaiju. We can't get this famous kaiju anymore. What? How does that work? I sound like I'm going crazy, because I am mental. Also, I find it funny how people say Godzilla already had 2 movies, also, as if it's not literally this. It's literally the meme. Look, all I'm saying is that Godzilla and other kaiju are getting the short end of the stick here, so much that it's starting to feel less like a Monsterverse and more of the Kong show. And again, let me reiterate, because people seem to forget, I love Kong! He's always fun to watch. I've grown up with this ape. But it's like food. Sure, you love your favorite food, but you're not always gonna eat it, are you, every day? Otherwise, that goodness becomes stale fast. And it's the fact you don't have it every day is what makes it so special. And that logic, again, applies here perfectly. No, I'm not saying get rid of Kong entirely. I'm saying give him a break so he can reignite people's investment. Don't cut him out entirely, just have him in shorter roles so people can get more interested in him and want him to come back. Just like Godzilla, who's been on a bit of a break since King of the Monsters, only being on screen for less than 20 minutes ever since King of the Monsters. And would you look at that? People are asking for another Godzilla movie because they want it again. You know why that is? Because he's not been overused. And finally, the last thing, I want to say this. I agreed with one thing that a lot of you had to say. One criticism that you guys gave me that I feel like you were right about was the thumbnail. I made it clear that I did not want to add any hate to this community that's already got enough hate to it. But a lot of you saw my thumbnail as me doing exactly that. And at the time when I was making it, I didn't see that because all I saw was how I meant it. That being, we shouldn't have Kong for a while. And now in hindsight and looking back on it, I can see exactly how other people saw it, and it's understandable to me. So, as a recording of this video, I'll have changed the thumbnail to better convey what I was trying to say. Because I've always said it, I've been a huge believer in not spreading any unnecessary hate. And I also believe in accountability. So yeah, this is me holding myself accountable here. I messed up with the thumbnail. But also, don't go spread unnecessary hate. We're all fans of the same thing here at the end of the day, so why can't we just enjoy it? And if there's something worth talking about, then we should talk about it, because I know I'm not the only one who's been thinking of these things for a while now. Based off the comments from my last video, a lot of you guys feel the same way as I do. So, in short, don't overuse Godzilla and Kong, and instead create a healthy balance between them and using new kaijus. Don't go harass people because they have a different opinion to you. I've seen a lot of you try and do that. Don't do that. And finally, it's not that deep, man. We're all kaiju fans at the end of the day, so let's just enjoy this while it lasts and try to improve it along the way, instead of trying to attack each other because we don't agree on one thing. That's just something that we shouldn't do. It's been the Pink King here. If you have anything you feel I've either missed or you want to discuss with me, then leave it in the comments. I read all your comments like I did with the last video. I had some discussions with a lot of you from the last video. And let me know what you think of my opinion, because remember, I'm allowed to have my own opinion here. Whether you agree with it or not, that's up to you. But with that, I will see you all next time. Have a good day.